Meg Leary took a hell of a yearbook picture. She was too thin, her stare too defiant, but for all that, she eclipsed the other girls on the page. She had a flair of personality the camera loved. Miss Pammy's lacquered nail pointed to her.
That's her, taken just days before the killing.
She closed the yearbook and put it aside in favor of a yellowed newspaper, the Exile Record, which had been out of business for at least 10 years. But then it had been an 8-page weekly and heavily padded with newswire fluff. This issue had a screaming bold headline that read, "Mother murdered, teenage daughter arrested." There was a picture of a thin, hunched girl with a jacket over her head being bustled up the steps of the Exile courthouse.
Drugs,
Miss Pammy said distastefully.
Ruined a lot of kids in this town, still does. We're right on the drug highway, straight up from Mexico. Gets worse all the time.
As if I didn't know. Meg?
I was saying, she was some kind of drug addict. Went home all hopped up and had an argument with her mother. The father, Marlon Leary, he was off at the Wandora, where he was every day. Meg found his shotgun. Some say she didn't know it was loaded, but I think she did. She shot her mother at point-blank range, then tried to shoot old Mr. Eves, the postman, when he walked up to the porch to deliver the mail. Crazed from the pills, I think. In my day, we smoked a little weed, had some nice LSD trips. Nothing like these kids get up to. But you'd know, Deputy. You'd know all about that.
I set the newspaper aside to make a copy. They got a conviction? She shook her head.
Heck of a trial. Biggest spectacle the town ever saw. People came as far away as Dallas and Austin to see it. And Meg Leary, she just sat there, never shed a tear, never expressed any remorse at all. They were all set to fry that girl, I tell you that. But then her father came forward with a confession.
I thought her father was at the Wandora.
He was, with his drunken buddies. Then all of a sudden, he says he left the bar, came home, got into a fight with his wife, killed her, and went back to the bar. Well, the bartender remembered him being gone, but couldn't say for how long. His buddies couldn't remember much of anything.
Pammy sighed. Another newspaper came out of the stack.
They let her go. Reasonable doubt.
Acquittal for alleged mother slayer. No question where the Exile Record had planted its journalistic feet on the issue. There was a blurred, grainy photo of Meg, head down, being hustled down the courthouse steps again, this time without the benefit of a jacket to protect her from the cameras. Quite a crowd. The picture was better than it deserved to be. Caught a sense of menace and violence from the looming faces and shaking fists that told me more about the hyperbole of the staff writer. A tall, lanky man was shoving a path through the crowd for her, his arm around her waist. Not her father, not according to the caption. Texas Rangers escort Megan Leary from the courthouse. No family members with her, no lawyers, just one cop. What happened? I asked. Miss Pammy raised her plucked eyebrows.
Well, she left town. Couldn't stay here, could she? Everybody knew the truth, and believe me, in a town the size of Exile, you don't get along with an evil past like that. It just doesn't do.
Well, Meg was back now, with a vengeance. I nodded and started to get up. Miss Pammy held a finger up, just like my second-grade teacher, freezing me in place.
I'm not done, she said. Neither was she. Vindictive little so-and-so. You could see that in her eyes. She wasn't satisfied with getting away with murder. Oh, no. She went off to the big city, and from there, she claimed she was molested while she was a prisoner in our jail.
I had a sudden visceral memory of Pacer's hands sliding up her skirt. Oh, Jesus, what had I gotten myself into?
She ruined a lot of good men in that department. In your department, Deputy Fox. Innocent men, sure as God watches over us. Some big city jury fined this city $3 million. $3 million. That was more than we ever had.
Miss Pammy's face had taken on a hard, vindictive set. I wondered if she'd been one of the people standing on the courthouse steps, howling for Meg's blood.
She took the heart right out of this town, Meg Leary. And if she ever shows her face again, she'll regret it.
Mind if I copy these? I asked. She gave me a sudden burst of a smile.
Still 10 cents a copy. Machine's right over there. Are you doing some kind of article, Deputy, for a law magazine?
Something like that, I said. I was way too much of a coward to tell her.